Before I get started, I want to mention that some of the audio you'll hear during this investigation includes wind and passing traffic. This is an active location during the day, and I chose to leave the audio as natural and unfiltered as possible. Welcome to Solivagant Paranormal. This channel is about quiet, respectful investigations of locations with reported history or local legend, presented without exaggeration and without assuming paranormal explanations. Today I'm at Flinderation Tunnel, or also known as the Brandy Gap Tunnel Number 2, located in Salem, West Virginia. The tunnel dates back to the railroad era and was originally used to support rail traffic through this area. Over time, as rail use declined, the tunnel became abandoned and eventually turned into a local landmark. Historical records indicate that this tunnel has also been the site of a fatal accident during its construction period. According to Cooper's Clarksburg Register newspaper from January the 19th, 1853, a man named Hanley was killed at the Brandy Gap Tunnel when a quantity of earth collapsed, burying him. This documented tragedy adds another layer of historical significance to the tunnel and provides important context when examining reports of unexplained activity associated with the location. There is also a cemetery located directly above the section of the tunnel. The cemetery remains part of the site's documented landscape and adds further historical context to the area surrounding the tunnel. Over the years, Flinderation Tunnel has developed a reputation for strange sounds, unexplained movement, and unusual experiences reported by people passing through, which is what led me to document this location. This is a short, daytime investigation, and everything you'll see and hear is presented as it happened. I'll point out anything that stood out to me, but I'll leave the interpretation open. Before I begin, I want to briefly explain the paranormal equipment used during this investigation. First is the SLS camera. It uses an infrared depth sensor to map shapes and movement, identifying human-sized forms by tracking joint patterns. Because it can misinterpret environmental features, anything it displays is documented without assuming a paranormal cause. I'm also using the Ghost Stop Solace, a multi-function device that monitors electromagnetic fields, temperature, and vibration. This helps establish a baseline and identify any unusual environmental changes. Next is the Ovulus. It converts environmental data such as electromagnetic fluctuations into words from a preset word bank. Any words generated are logged as they occur without interpretation. Finally, I'm using an EVP wrist recorder, EVP for electronic voice phenomenon. This device continuously records ambient sound and is reviewed later for any unexplained noises, with environmental factors taken into account. Okay, now I'm going to enter the tunnel with the SLS activated, and let's see if I catch anything. Is there anybody in the tunnel that would like to communicate with me If you stand in front of me, I'll be able to see you. A lot of wind in the tunnel, a lot of water dripping, a lot of environmental contamination. If you come stand in front of me, I'll be able to see you. For some reason, my SLS camera just stopped working. It was fully charged. I tested it before I was going to bring the equipment to make sure it was going to function properly, and it just shut off for no reason. I have no idea. I can't get the screen back up. So I had to use a cable to connect from the SLS camera to the computer tablet to give it like another secondary means of battery power. And now it's on. It just completely lost power. This thing was fully charged before I left the house to come here and film. I tested it, everything was working properly. It was fully charged. In the first couple minutes of me walking in the tunnel, the tablet completely just died. There's no battery power. So it's up working now. I've never had that happen before on any investigation using SLS cameras at other locations. Okay, was that you that made my computer stop working? If that was you that made my computer, if you drain the battery in my computer, can you stand in front of it so I know you're here? Can you show yourself in front of me? If you stand in front of me, I'll be able to see you. Again, there's a lot of water dripping. There's a lot of wind, a lot of environmental things that's going against what I'm trying to do, but that comes with paranormal investigation. Okay, I had a spike. It looked like it might have been a temperature spike, but it is cold out here. Now at the time, I couldn't confirm whether the alert was triggered by temperature or EMF. The flag indicator was brief, but the spike is visible on the Solace display. After the investigation, I reviewed the data logs, which confirmed this was an electromagnetic spike. On screen, you're seeing a cropped section of the Solace Ghost Logger graphs from this session, which display environmental readings recorded during the EMF spike. Throughout most of the investigation, the data shows relatively consistent baseline readings with only minor fluctuations. At approximately 12:38 hours and 40 seconds, there is a single isolated spike in the electromagnetic reading reaching 6 milligauss. After reviewing the full data set, this 6 milligauss reading stands out as the highest EMF spike recorded during the entire investigation. Before and after this moment, the readings return to baseline levels with no sustained increase or repeat activity. While equipment interference or environmental factors cannot be ruled out, the source of the spike remains unexplained. There's a cutout people could hide if there's a train coming through the tunnel. If you're in here, can you stand in that cutout and I'll see you? Oh, I just went out on my GoPro. That's interesting. Not sure why my light went off. Let's try. I don't know, maybe the battery's draining on my light from my GoPro. It was charged too. At the time, there was no clear indication of low battery or malfunction. At the conclusion of the investigation and returning to my vehicle, I turned on the light to test it out, and the light did not shut off again. As with other equipment behavior noted during this investigation, this is documented without drawing conclusions as to the cause. The wind's picking up, the weather's getting a little nasty. I think I'm going to start wrapping up the investigation. So this is the location I'd like to come back and revisit one day and try to do more of an investigation, but the weather's getting nasty. A lot of water. I don't want to get the equipment damaged, so probably start wrapping up the investigation here. That wraps up my investigation here at Flinderation Tunnel. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to see more, feel free to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thanks for watching.